Welcome back to Hardware Unboxed. Today's video is a quick one and something we haven't done a lot of on the channel. We're looking at a smartphone, the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, specifically to analyze its battery life compared to a range of modern phones. A few of you have been asking about more smartphone coverage on the channel, and here's the first little taste of what else is coming up. So I've been using the Galaxy S9 Plus for a pretty significant amount of time now, and there will be a full review of the phone if you're interested on TechSpot soon, if it's not already up there. As always, battery life is a super important aspect of how a phone performs, hence why we're looking at it today. The Galaxy S9 Plus model I have with me for testing is the Exynos model equipped with Samsung's Exynos 9810 SoC, rather than the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845. This model is mostly found in the EMEA region, like here in Australia and also Europe, while the Qualcomm variant is for North America. It won't come as a surprise, but the following battery life results really only reflect the battery life you can expect from the Exynos model. From what I've seen so far in other reviews, it does sound like the Snapdragon 845 model performs a little bit better in battery tests, so keep that in mind. In any case, both Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus models include a 3500 mAh or 13.48 watt-hour battery, while the smaller Galaxy S9 we haven't tested packs a 3000 mAh or 11.55 watt-hour cell. These are the exact same battery capacities as last year's Galaxy S8 Plus and Galaxy S8, so ideally we should be seeing equivalent or better battery life in the newer Galaxy S9. Unfortunately, as far as the Exynos model of the Galaxy S9 is concerned, that's not really the case. We'll jump into some benchmark charts shortly, but in almost every situation, we're looking at lower battery life, which is pretty disappointing, I have to say, from what is a brand new high-end flagship device. For web browsing battery life, we have two benchmarks that run the same test on both Wi-Fi and LTE networks. In the Wi-Fi test, we saw a pretty large decrease in battery life, almost 23%, which causes the Galaxy S9 Plus to fall well below some of the better phones on the market like the Pixel 2 XL and Huawei Mate 10. The Galaxy S9 Plus does manage to outperform the Galaxy S8 Plus in the LTE test, but only by 3%, and that's again not really enough to match the best Snapdragon-powered handsets. We also run two PCMark battery life tests, the Work and Work 2.0 tests, both of which show lower battery life for the Galaxy S9 Plus. In the older Work test, the S9 Plus falls 15% behind the S8 Plus, while in Work 2.0 we're looking at a similar 12% reduction. These results aren't good, and they really do indicate the Exynos 9810 is actually less efficient at running everyday workloads than the older Exynos 8895. When you factor in the unimpressive performance difference between the two SoCs, and that's something we'll be covering in a future video, it is a disappointing result for the newer phone. After seeing these PCMark results, it's no surprise to see similar battery life drops in the graphics-heavy GFX bench tests. In fact, the performance decrease here is even larger at up to 20% in the GPU-limited Manhattan test. And while we don't always expect to see better battery life in such SoC-heavy tests, this large decline in battery life doesn't even seem warranted given the Exynos 9810 is barely faster than the Exynos 8895 in long-term GPU performance in the exact same Manhattan 3.1 test. Another test we run is Basemark Web 3.0, which is relatively process intensive compared to other benchmarks. Here we again see an 11% battery life drop with the Galaxy S9 Plus relative to the Galaxy S8 Plus. If you're wondering about video playback battery life, again, it's not good news for the Galaxy S9 Plus. When streaming a 4K HEVC video over Wi-Fi, the Galaxy S8 Plus lasted almost 2 hours longer than the newer Galaxy S9 Plus, which again is likely down to the more inefficient CPU. It's better news in our 1080p local video playback test run at maximum brightness, but again, the Galaxy S9 Plus produces lower battery life than the Galaxy S8 Plus. The Galaxy S9 Plus also takes longer to charge than the S8 Plus using the charger included in the box. In the crucial 20 to 80% burst charge test, the S9 Plus takes almost exactly an hour to charge this amount, while the Galaxy S8 Plus shaves off 11 minutes for what is essentially the same battery capacity. I was a little surprised at these results, though lately Samsung has been taking a more conservative approach with their battery technology. All up though, you can expect the Galaxy S9 Plus to produce roughly 10 to 15% less battery life than the S8 Plus from the same battery capacity, the same display size and technology, and what should be a more efficient processor. It's a really disappointing result for a flagship phone, and it puts the Galaxy S9 Plus comfortably in mediocre battery life territory for the Exynos model. During my time with the Galaxy S9 Plus, I have downloaded and installed several software updates, but none have affected the battery life in any material way. Whether or not Samsung will attempt to fix the battery life through a software update remains to be seen, but I certainly wouldn't be holding my breath for any improvements. The question does remain as to why the Galaxy S9 Plus performs lower than expected in battery life tests. To answer that, I will point you towards some fantastic analysis from the guys at AnandTech that explored the Galaxy S9 Plus's strange CPU behavior with the Exynos model. Basically, a lot of issues come down to Samsung tuning of their own silicon, which is a bit bizarre, but there's seemingly a bit of a disconnect between the SoC and smartphone divisions. One of the key issues is the CPU not powering up to its full clock speeds quick enough. By taking, in some cases, hundreds of milliseconds to respond to CPU usage demands, the SoC is not gating cores and turning down clocks as fast as it otherwise could to conserve energy. We've seen across pretty much every CPU architecture that the best way to cut power consumption is to burst clock speeds high, complete the task as fast as possible, then shut off unnecessary resources. The Galaxy S9 Plus with the Exynos SoC doesn't do this for whatever reason. In any case, if you're thinking of buying a smartphone and want to get one with great battery life, I'd stick to either the Snapdragon S9 Plus if it is available in your area, or a different device entirely. My Google Pixel 2 XL has proven to be pretty reliable with its battery life, as you could see from the benchmarks here as well, but there are plenty of other choices that deliver better battery results than the Exynos Galaxy S9 Plus. That's it for this brief exploration into the Galaxy S9 Plus's battery life. Don't forget to check the full review on TechSpot, and I'll catch you in the next one.